Hello and welcome to Tiny Desk Knitting with Emma. Yeah, today's Sunday, but I'm obviously posting this on Tuesday. I'm gonna take these off. They're disgusting. It's much later in the day than I usually record, which is probably why the light looks different to you. It's like 2 in the afternoon, maybe almost 3. It's really hot today, and we officially have COVID in my house. So I haven't tested positive yet. I have tested negative twice so far, but one of the girls has COVID, and so we're kind of locked down-ish. I always find it hard to tell if I'm feeling sick, especially in the summer, because like I'm like, do I have a fever or is it just really hot in my house? Because the answer could be both or one or the other. Like I pretty much feel normal, but I feel very warm, but I think that's because it's 95 degrees and the air conditioning is like fine in our house. In certain rooms, we try to close certain vents, so our bedrooms are more cold, especially at night, but you know, for various reasons I could be feeling very warm. But yeah, poor Jordan has had to be quarantined, and we were kind of just hoping that we'd all test positive and then she could come out of quarantine because we all had it, but Hannah and I don't have it yet. If we get it. So this is like a really opportune time there's no opportune time to get COVID, but for me, it would be really, I'm like, okay, like if I get it over with now, I have a thing in 2 weeks. I have 2 big things for like 2 full weeks. I have to do a big choir school thing. I have to go work as a staff member at a residential camp, or a course, not a camp, it's a course in New York City. And then I have a wedding, and I would really, really like to not get COVID at either of those things, or have COVID prevent me from going to either of those things. So I'm like, if I get it right now, I'm 2 weeks out, it's okay. So I'm really hoping either I get symptoms by like tomorrow or Tuesday. Tuesday's like, maybe Wednesday is probably like the latest day it would be okay. And then, or I just am avoiding it. I had it after Christmas. So I'm like definitely not within my 3 months, but I did get boosted in January, so we'll see. I don't know. It avoids people in strange ways, and both my roommates, well, until now, Jordan hadn't had it and Hannah hasn't had it yet, so we'll see. But yeah, we will see. Anyway, I do have a lot of knitting because I've been pretty much inside the last couple of days, and I'm trying to not cast on anything during quarantine. I'm gonna quarantine until at least Jordan comes out of quarantine, which is 5 days from when she tested positive. So like Wednesday, I don't know. Well, she had symptoms on Friday, so I guess Wednesday. And then if I'm still clear, and you know, we have like rapid tests here, and I can get free rapid tests at work, which is good. Yeah, I might come out of quarantine then. Ish. I really just don't want to get it before camp at all though, so the course at all though, so I might just like kind of quarantine-ish for like 2 weeks anyway. No one comes into my office like at all except me, because it's summer and people have stuff to do, and like we're all taking vacations and stuff at random times, so it's like fine if I go there. I mean, I'm not gonna go there until like at least Wednesday, but it's like, well, I could go to the office if I needed to. The only reason, oh, there's pink on the bottom of that. The only reason I would go to the office is to pick up packages. I got all my packages shipped to my office because we live in a row house and things occasionally get stolen, which is a little annoying. But anyway, I digress. I'm trying to get through a bunch of stuff. So today I just finished the body of the red cardigan I was working on this time last week. I actually recorded on Tuesday, so I was pretty far down the body already. I finished the body and I just stabbed the steek. So I finished the body, I did the bottom band, then I did the neckline, then I stabbed the steek, and now it's blocking. And it's a beautiful day today, and there's 0% chance of rain until at least through tomorrow evening. So I'm just gonna put it outside to dry super quick, hopefully within the next 12 hours or so. Velocore, my t-shirt from last week, also finished. Neckline looks great. I would be wearing it, but it's wet. It's blocking. There's a picture of it on my Instagram, which is Barnaby Knits, and it's linked in the show notes. You can find me on social media at Ravelry, Instagram, and Twitter. I don't really tweet from Barnaby Knits, but I sometimes retweet stuff and sometimes I tweet stuff. All the links are in the show notes. If you have a question for me, you can send me an email. Ooh, what's that? Oh, it's a trash can probably. My email address is barnabyknits@gmail.com. You can email me. I'll link that in the show notes too. So yeah, that was kind of what I finished today, but I've really been working on my hap. So you have probably only seen my hap if you watch the Woolly Thistle Shopcasts. And I showed like the center triangle of the hap when I was working on it. And then I was making, it's gonna be the woodcut hap by Kari Westerman, which is a beautiful pattern. But I was just like not focusing enough to be knitting lace that complicated, because there was a beautiful garter stitch lace border, but then not the applied border, there was also an applied border, but the garter stitch border, lace border was gorgeous, but I just couldn't really focus enough. And when you don't focus on lace, it just doesn't come out right. And I don't know if it was like the problem with the repeat, because there were a lot of central double decreases instead of just regular decreases, and I was like not having the right stitch counts in between my markers, and I was just like, I don't know if this is me or what. Maybe this pattern and I will get along at a later date, but we're not getting along right now. So I put that aside. I ripped all the lace out, and I just ripped basically back to the triangle, which was done. And I decided to make the medium Hansel hap with, okay, so this was the original yarn that I got for the hap. This is John Arbon Harvest Hues 4-ply in the colorway Pomegranate. So you can see the yarn there. This is what the tag looks like. Harvest Hues 4-ply fingering Pomegranate. It is, I'll just read this to you, 65% dyed, organically farmed Falklands Merino, and 35% Devon Swartbles, which is a very dark brown. Made in the UK. 100 grams, 400 meters, standard John Arbon measurements. Worsted spun, beautiful color. I really was drawn to the Harvest Hues color palette, and especially this red. So I got this when I was in the UK in March. It's really hard to, so some of John Arbon's yarns you can get in stores. You can get Exmor sock in stores, you can get Devonia in stores, usually in 4-ply and DK. You can get Yarnadelic in most stores, but it's kind of hard to get some of the other ranges. So I think they said that Appledore was gonna go to the stores, but I wanted to get the ones I couldn't just go to the store and get, or like go to the Woolly Thistle or order from the Woolly Thistle and here. So I got 2 skeins of this red 4-ply and Harvest Hues. I got 4 skeins of Appledore in 2 different colors, and I'm gonna make a striped kind of sailor sweater. Appledore is a DK weight yarn. It's really woolly, and now it comes in a lace, which would be really gorgeous. I would totally use that lace in like another hap. And then I got some Exmor sock. What else did I get? Anything else? I think that was it. I think it was just those. I was trying not to go overboard, because I knew I was gonna also just like go to yarn stores and want to buy wool there, so I did. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. But I cast on that hap in this pomegranate color, and anyway, then, oh, I did get one more skein, right, of course, it's in this. The other skein I got is this, which is Exmor Swartbles. Gorgeous, also 4-ply, really got a nice halo there. This is Exmor Swartbles 4-ply, same specs in terms of the like length and weight. It is 30% Swartbles, 70% Exmor Blueface. So this line is undyed, and it comes in light, medium, and dark. And this is the lightest color. I think the darkest one is 100% Swartbles. And Exmor Blueface is a mix between an Exmor Horn and a Blueface Leicester Sheep. It's called an Exmor Mule. So it kind of has the strength of the Exmor Horn. The Exmor Horns are really like, it's like really like more coarse. It's like more woolly wool, rustic feeling. And obviously Blueface Leicester, if you are aware of that type of wool. It's much longer, staple, it's really soft. It's generally like a well-known wool for hand knitting. It's good for garments. It's usually soft enough to wear next to your skin. So it's nice to have a mix. The Exmor Blueface is a nice mix of the two. It's not too scratchy for most people, but it has kind of a nice, like, it's a strong, good, kind of hardy wool. So I thought I would do some Hansel, again, I'm doing the Hansel hat, the medium size, the half, and then one of the striped colors is this, and the other one is this Daughter of a Shepherd Heritage that I have left over from the Belvrade hat. I had 2 skeins of this. Well, I had 2 skeins, and then I used the first one to do color work in my Yoki Doki by Gudrun Johnston, which I made last year for the Woolly Thistles sweater cowl. So there probably is an episode about it like last September-ish. It's a light gray sweater with, this is the main color of the yoke, and then also like a dark red, which is really fun. I'm really into dark browns and reds together this year, I guess. This last like 12 months, I've done a bunch of things in that palette. So then I made the Belvrade hat, and that used 97 grams of wool. And so I just kind of barely broke into the second skein that I had of this, both of which I got from the Woolly Thistle in the selection boxes this year and last year. I think sometimes they have it for just sale. Like you can sometimes just buy Daughter of a Shepherd if they have it in stock, but I got it both times in the selection boxes. So I haven't even shown you the hat yet, sorry. These are the 3 colors together. I really like them together. I just think it's a nice, it's very like wintry, kind of autumnal. I thought there was enough contrast that they would look good. So the stripe pattern that Gudrun Johnston gives you is symmetrical and uses many more colors than I did. So I basically just like went like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then when I got to the middle, I just went the opposite direction. And so I'm gonna show it to you. Hopefully nothing falls off the needles because I've got stitch markers involved in here. And I am almost done with the main body section and to the applied border. So not quite yet, but I'm getting there. It is very big, as you can see. Sorry, I'm really trying to make this not fall off the needles. So there it is so far. Let me show you some close-ups. It's sort of, all the ends are on that end, so let's look at this end. It's kind of hard to see. Well, that's okay. There's the camera. I was gonna say it's pretty like it's a pretty loose knit, so hard to see a little bit. So this is the center triangle here. Started the old shell lace, which is why it has that nice wave. This is the center, this one red stripe. And so I'm actually like, I just have 2 more, 1 more of each of these. There's 1 more lace row, I think. And then I'm done with that, and then I do the applied border. The applied border is gonna be in red, just because I have lots of red. Because I have another whole skein, and I had not finished the first skein. So there's probably enough here to make another hat, like entire hat if I wanted to. I just don't know how I would organize those colors, but I don't know. I might just give them to my mom and see what she does. I like to have, you know, I like to have stash yarn, obviously, to have a variety of things to do with it. Use it in color work. I'm trying to be good about scraps in general these days, like making scrappy socks. I made that little rainbow tank top, and you know, that's fun. I made the sea glass tee, which was great. I would like to make something like the sea glass tee in like woollier wools. That would be really fun. Maybe I'll probably end up just making like more shawls with this, or I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes there's beauty in not knowing. There's many things that can be done with leftover wool. So yeah, this is the Hansel hat. So I started this hat for the Woolly Thistles hat cowl, which I was in theory gonna participate in, which I did. Like I did knit some of the hat during that time period. but I kind of fell off the rails because I wasn't really enjoying the knitting of that particular hat, but I was like, nah. And, you know, I talking to Maggie, and she's like, yeah, people love making the Hansel hat so much. I love mine. It's so great. She and Corinne are both making, or Maggie finished hers. Corinne, I think, is still working, but she's making a huge one. It's like a big square. And I think she's kind of getting to the end there too. But I just felt like, you know, everyone really likes that, so I might as well see what all the fuss is about. And wow, this is fun. This is really fun. It's relaxing. There's no purling, which is my ideal shawl. There is lace once every 6 rows. Well, yes, 6 rows. So the lace is very simple. It's called the old shell lace, and it looks maybe more complicated than it is because of the way it waves. It just does that based on where the yarn overs and knit two togethers are placed. And slip knits, obviously. But it's really simple. It's, you know, it's easy to keep track, especially using markers. I don't seem to have a problem. The center is here, so you can see there's traditional center with the lace eyelets going all the way down the spine. So if you're unfamiliar with the way a hat is constructed, you actually start at the center triangle and you start at the tip and you cast on like 2 stitches, and you increase one with a yarn over on every round or every row. So it just grows and grows and grows and makes a big triangle. And a huge triangle, in fact, here. And this is only the medium size. Like, I can't even imagine how big the large one would be. I am really excited to have the medium. I think it's gonna be perfect because my Belgrade hat is kind of like the small size-ish, and it's really nice. It weighs under 100 grams, but it's like, I can wear it. It's much smaller. This is gonna be more like a wrap for my desk at work, which I think I'm gonna really enjoy, almost like a lap blanket. This one, my stitches are still on hold. Excuse me. I'm wearing a Burlington, Vermont shirt today. I'm not wearing a knitwear because, like I said, it is a million degrees. I think this is supposed to be Camel's Hump here. If you've ever been to Vermont, you will know the outline of Camel's Hump. I think I'm gonna get a Camel's Hump tattoo, like on my ankle or something, just like the outline of the mountain. I might get Camel's Hump on one ankle and Mount Mansfield on the other ankle, which is that's the tallest mountain in Vermont. But I don't have any tattoos right now, so we'll see. My brother and I are getting matching tattoos, but we can never find a good time because he's a lifeguard in the summer, and I usually go home in the summer. We were gonna get him at Christmas, but then I got COVID, so we couldn't. So we're getting matching alto clef tattoos. If you don't know what an alto clef is, you're probably a normal person. It's a old style type of musical clef that looks like a bee, and our last name's Barnaby, so we're getting them. It's also the clef that some instruments still use. Violists, cellists, bassoon players sometimes variously use them. Cellists' C clefs usually move, which is really hard. I learned how to read movable C clefs when I was in college because I was a music major and I was taking all these oral skills classes, but Ian and I both play viola. I'm really bad. He's much better than I am. And violists use this non-movable C clef called an alto clef because the middle C is always the middle line of the staff. So we're gonna get those sometime, but that's a huge digression as always. Anyway, then you take off I usually have had to cast off the top stitches. This one said just put them on waste yarn, so I think the finishing comes at the end, which is fine. This is what the back looks like. You can see the stripes are a little, you know, you're seeing the pearl bumps here of the changing colors. So this is kind of what it will eventually look like when it hangs. This is the top, there's the spine. Yeah, I really love the colors of this. I've just, like I said, I think I've been on a red and like brownish kick for like the last year-ish. So my Hilda sweater is also, it's like lighter browns and then dark brown and red. So this exact same red. I mean, it's like this red that's drawing me. Is, if you watched last week, you know that the cardigan I'm working on is also this color red. So clearly I thought my wardrobe was missing some red, and that is what I'm doing these days. Yeah, so working on those. I finished Velocore, which was great. And so I have this kind of mentality where I'm trying to work through, not cast things on, I'm trying to, except for socks, I'm trying to work through, like my projects that are on the needles that are kind of like bigger projects, kind of one at a time. So I'm giving myself like one of those, plus like there's usually something vanilla that I'm working on, plus there's socks that I'm working on. And that seems to be like enough to stimulate my brain enough that like I don't get bored, because I have a few things I can kind of rotate between, but I still get things done. So that's kind of my balance right now. And I go through phases where I finish a bunch of stuff and then I cast a bunch of stuff on, and then I have to go through the process again. And I'm really trying to get to a place where like I just have fewer whips at a time. But I don't know if that'll really ever happen. It would be really nice, but it seems like not really a super manageable task for me. I get, you know, I do finish things. I do. I am a daily knitter. I'm a, you know, obsessive knitter, as my mom would probably say. It's like a fidget thing. I do this all the time. It's because, you know, I've gotten to the point, as you can probably imagine, that I don't really have to think a whole lot while I knit. You know, I have to focus on patterns if there's like lace or cables or color work or anything. Color work's pretty quick for me now because I've done so much color work, but you know, the just the process of it doesn't make my brain have to work very hard, and so it's something I can do while I watch television, talk to my roommates, I knit at the bars. If I don't knit while I'm talking to somebody, people don't always know this, but if I'm not knitting and I'm talking to somebody, it's like a very nice thing that I'm extending, because it means that my brain is stimulated enough by the conversation that I don't feel the need to knit. So I always say, if I'm not knitting around you, it's a huge compliment. But I usually am knitting. So yeah, I don't know. But this is hopefully gonna get, I would love to just have this done by the end of the week, like the next week. And again, I know I can get through the rest of this border today. The border is only like 3 more rows. The applied border is the thing that takes longer. That's the, it's very cool. Basically what you do is that there's all these stitches on the needle that you don't cast them off. There's, you know, 300, 400 stitches. I don't know how many are. It's 200 probably something. And you take your main color and you take another needle and or I guess you could just use the end of this one and just like kind of slide those down a little bit and use this needle. That'd probably work too. You cast on like some number of stitches. Like I think on the Ballerate Hap it was like 18. The Ballerate Hap pattern is free if you're interested. I'll link it in the show notes, and I'll link my video where I talked about it also in the show notes. So you cast on some stitches on like another needle that's the same size, and then you knit those stitches, you knit across those stitches, and when you get to the end, you knit the last stitch on your needle, the last new stitch, with whatever the next stitch of your current, of the like live stitches here is. So like I would knit my row, and the last stitch I would knit 2 together with the last stitch that's available to me on this needle, on all of these live stitches. Go back to the beginning, start it again. So when I get to the end of the row, this is the 3rd row, I guess, you knit 2 together with the next stitch on the needle. And eventually you have to knit twice the number of applied border rows, and they're short again, they're like 20 stitches, but you have to, and they're lace, there's twice as many applied border rows as there are stitches on your live stitches on your needle. So it takes a long time, and it does take quite a bit of yarn. So I'm sure I'll get through a decent amount of this red ball here. But we'll see. I'm excited. Applied borders are kind of fun because the rows are so short, you can really get like a lot done at a time. So I'll usually challenge myself to get like 25 done in like, you know, an hour-long knitting session in the morning or something. And that's like a pretty good chunk. 25 out of like 200 isn't bad. And then, you know, again, because if I'm being more monogamous on this, I can kind of get a lot done in a day. I could probably get 100 back and forths done in a day before I got really, really bored, but we'll see. That would be like 200 applied border rows. That would be a lot. We'll see. Again, it depends if I have, well, it doesn't really matter if I have COVID because I still have to stay inside. So I think if I don't have COVID, then I'll probably have more energy to knit. The last time I had COVID, I had plenty of energy. I just couldn't really walk around. I was very fatigued. But otherwise, I just had, it was Omicron, thank God. So I had really mild like cold symptoms basically. And I just was fatigued if I like got up and walked around, but I couldn't because I was at my parents' house. It was Christmas time. So I was just sat in my room basically for like 5 or 6 days. So that was fun. And yeah. So we'll see what happens with this hat. What else am I gonna try to get through? I have this pattern, this sweater on the needles called Black Ice, which I think I talked about in my sweater stash down video in like February or something. Maybe it was January when I think it was February when I did the sweater stash down video. That is a pattern from line of 4, and it's like a half brioche pattern with like a lace weight single ply, not a fingering weight single ply, lace weight single ply and lace weight mohair. So it's super lightweight, it's gorgeous. And I have this like lace weight single ply from, it's from Monosteel Uruguay. And it is Monosteel Uruguay. I'm just gonna hold this so you can see it. And maybe that's what will be the like screen cap thing, the longer I hold it here. Monosteel Uruguay is a brand of yarn from Uruguay. They are sustainable, kind of really nice to the, you know, residents who make the yarn for them. They provide work for women. It's a really great thing. I think, I don't know a ton about Monosteel Uruguay, but anyway, they're like North American, basically shipping center. The distributor is in Philadelphia, and there's not like a store there. There's just this big shipping warehouse basically. So they don't sell stuff out of the warehouse except once a year in like October when they have like an opened weekend, and it's like maybe just one day, and you can go, and they have, everything's like discounted. So they'll have factory seconds, which I have bought a lot of for really cheap, and that is a great deal. And they have like 30% off like big bundles of like 5 skeins. And when I went, I got a bunch of those seconds that were really nice. I made my friend Sophie a really, really beautiful, very soft sweater. They were like seconds because they were kind of felted together a little bit. But if you have a winder and a swift, that doesn't really make a difference. You just the motion of the swift kind of pulls the felting apart, and it just kind of was fine. It was really soft. My hands smell like jasmine wool wash because I just soaked that red cardigan. I gotta go get it and put it on the roof after this. I was just like really drawn to this color, and it was they only had it in a lace. It was a single ply lace. They didn't have it in any other weights, but there were 5 skeins. So I was like, okay, I'll just hold this double or triple or whatever to get whatever I need. But then I found this pattern and I was like, no, I'm gonna make that instead. And I did, or I am working on it. Maybe I'll show that next time. Although I'm not sure that's gonna be my next big finish, hope or monogamous project, because I really need to work on those Fair Isle things. I have a Fair Isle cowl on the needles that I barely have started. I started it for the TWT accessory cowl, and I like really never finished that, which was kind of a bummer. And it was really nice. I designed it myself. It was really pretty. It was green with Shetland wool. And I was gonna make it for my English host mom, who I had made her a green Shetland hat. And I was like, oh, it'd be so nice if I had this like cowl to go with it. But I didn't finish it in time. But I'm gonna see her, as long as I don't get COVID in like a week, I'm gonna see her in about 2 weeks. So that would be nice if I could like finish that this week or next week too, but we'll see. Probably won't. I'll probably just send it to her at Christmas. That's fine. But I will, yeah, I'll do my best. I am working on that. I'm working on Black Ice pattern, which is again in line of 4. Working on Hilda still. Oh my gosh. If I really am working on a Fair Isle project, it should probably be that Hilda sleeve, and then I gotta knit the second sleeve too. And again, like if I got really like into Fair Isle for like 2 weeks, I could probably bang that out, but I haven't been on a Fair Isle kick in a while, so I haven't really, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, because those projects are hiding under my bed. So we'll see. What else do I have? Oh, I really have to finish. This is more important. The sweater that I'm knitting for, so my best friend from high school is getting married in right after the course that I'm working at. So again, really hope that if I get COVID, it's right now, so that I can't get it at the girls' course and I can't get it at the wedding, and I can't give it to anyone at the wedding or the girls' course. That would be super fantastic. So the wedding is the 6th of August, so that's like almost a month. Although July is speeding by faster than I'm aware, clearly. And I'm just making him like a lopa pesa for the wedding. I made Lauren one 4 years ago, maybe a long time ago. And I wanted to make them sweaters for the wedding, but I already made her one. And she was like, can they match? And I was like, well, no, because I'm making you this like pink mohair Barbie beautiful sweater, like not Barbie, but like it's kind of like Barbie pink, almost like light pink. She loves pink, so I'm making it like it's like I already made it. It's a V-neck mohair sweater, like mohair and wool. It's really nice, because I made her like a big scratchy ski sweater before, and I was like, I want her to have like a nice sweater that she wants to wear, and it's like professional and it's really pretty, and she loves it, and it's soft and cozy. So I made her that, and I'm making her fiance, Blake, the same type of sweater that I made her as for the ski sweater, because her parents are up in Vermont, and they go cross-country skiing a lot and downhill skiing, but I think this is more of like a cross-country ski sweater. And I'm making it out of Briggs & Little Regal. It's navy with like white stars and stuff on the yoke. So I have to finish that. Sleeves are done, the body's almost done. I just need to then do the yoke, which is actually not that, doesn't usually take very long. I can usually speed through a colorwork yoke, especially bottom up, pretty quickly, especially with Aran weight yarn. So that should get done this week also. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff that I'm not too upset about the COVID quarantine, because I got a lot of stuff to finish. I'm obviously working on socks, 2 pairs of socks on the needles. I'd show you them, but they're not within reach. I'm working on my Lizzie Bennett socks for July, and I'm working on my Emma Woodhouse socks. This is my 5th sample of Emma Woodhouse socks. I'm gonna make one more after this too. That's my favorite pattern, so whatever. This one is actually in a secret yarn, so that's fun. I love secrets. That's gonna be a good time. Yeah. So, yeah, pretty much that's what's been going on. Got this. I just love this. Fun. The like waves. I would make 10 of these. I love it so much. I may feel differently when I get to the applied border. But you know, I always say that, and then I'm like, but I have like 10,000 things in my queue that's not making 10 of these. So like, I'm not gonna make 10 of these. It's just like, it would be nice, wouldn't it? I don't know. I have like a few cones of J&S, and so I'm like, oh yeah, I could make like a dark gray. I have a cone of 81, which is that charcoal gray, which is really hard to find. And I've hardly dipped into it at all. So I kind of want to make another porty pullover with that. I really want to make a porty, or maybe a cardigan, porty sweater with the like, with a dark gray, maybe like a light gray, and then like blues and greens for the colors. That would be really fun, I think, and very pretty. So I don't know, stay tuned. I'll get back into Fair Isle at some point. I started this channel to talk about Fair Isle. I want to now like go pick up my cowl, but I'm really like dedicated to like finishing, you know, one thing at a time. And so I'm like, that's not up yet. That's not up yet. We'll get there. Just not yet. So yeah, it is getting to the point where I'm like, it is going to take me forever just to get through all of these projects that I currently have cast on. Like, wow. And I want to knit new stuff. And I do a pretty good job, I think, of like kind of casting on with new stuff sometimes, and then I'm still using up my stash yarn. I do really, really work hard to work through it. Like this red cardigan that I showed last week, that has been in my stash since March of 2020. I bought that in England right before I came home because of COVID. So I was going to the Wensleydale cardigan I made. I think that was my stash from like 2019, maybe early 2020. So I am getting through it. Getting through the old stuff too. It's just like, I mean, not quickly, but like if I went through my yarn quickly, then I would run out of it. So I don't want to run out. I want to knit through it that quickly. Yeah, so, you know, I'm still like, yeah, I'm trying to do original things with the old stuff I have and just branch out a little bit and do new things, because it's nice to have a wardrobe with variety. You know, I'm gonna wear these things for like 50 years, hopefully, so I would like more options. I don't want just like 50 color work yoke sweaters a year. I want color work yoke every year maybe, but also like a nice hat that I can wrap around myself at work when it's cold in my office, and maybe a cabled sweater and like a cardigan with buttons that's like really nice or whatever. So, you know, we'll see. But anyway, I think that's it for now. I don't think I have any other things to share. We'll see what happens with the COVID situation. Hopefully, at least everybody gets through it fine. You know, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, all right, well, I can't believe we lasted 7 months in this house and none of us got COVID. Because I did, but I wasn't here. It was when we were living here, but I was not physically here, and I didn't give it to them. So it was kind of amazing that it's taken this long. Because, like, we're careful. We wear masks in the grocery store and stuff still, but we have people over a lot. We have various friends in and out of the house, and you know, it's kind of amazing that we haven't really spread COVID yet, or haven't gotten it or whatever. You know, we all go to work sometimes. I go to work most days. They go to work sometimes too. Sometimes they work here, sometimes they go to work. You know, kind of amazing. So that's cool. I'm trying to nip it in the bud clearly by drinking ginger ale. I should probably save the ginger ale for Jordan. We have a lot of it though. We had a party last weekend. Again, I was like, well, maybe that's where we got COVID, but I don't think it was the party, because the symptoms didn't present in Jordan for like 5 more days or something. So we don't know. There's a variety of places you can get COVID. Maybe she got it at trivia night and somehow I didn't. When we went there, I don't know. Oh no, she didn't come to trivia night. I don't know. No one knows, but it doesn't matter. Like, you know, we don't fault each other for things. Like, it could have happened to any of us, and so it's just kind of like, all right, well, let's just take care of each other, because that's what we can do right now. And it's nice to have, you know, family, basically. So, excuse me, it's making me burp. Yeah, you know, life is what it is. And thank you for watching. This has been Tiny Desk Knitting with Emma. Bye!